Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. The name Cobb Tuning might not be very well known in the Mustang world, but they're very well known in the turbo market for their high quality products that look great and perform great as well. They've been at the forefront of performance parts for the Focus and Fiesta ST, so it's only a matter of time until they set their sights on the Mustang EcoBoost. This cold air kit shown here is their first product offering for the EcoBoost Mustang. It's going to fit your 2015 through 2016, and today we're going to show you how to install it. This Cobb cold air kit's made right here in the USA and will fit your 2015 through 2016 EcoBoost Mustang with manual or automatic transmission. Features this aluminum air box going through a 3-inch aluminum tubing using a green reusable filter, and includes all necessary hardware for installation. For this installation, you'll need a 1/4-inch ratchet, 7mm socket, 8mm socket, 10mm socket, extension, 3/8 ratchet, 12mm socket, 17mm socket, 12mm wrench, cutting pliers or sharp scissors, and needle nose pliers. We're going to begin the installation over here on the passenger side of the car. We're going to disconnect the air intake from the turbo itself. We're going to start by disconnecting this clamp right here. That'll disconnect the actual pipe from the turbo. With a cold air kit disconnected the turbo, now we're going to disconnect the blow-off valve tubing right here and the PCV right behind it. To disconnect the PCV, simply push on this little gray connector and lift up. Now move over to the driver's side. Disconnect the IAT sensor by pushing on the clip. And then pull the clip off the airbox as well. The last step before we can remove the factory airbox is to remove the mounting bolt on the driver's side. Now if you're careful, you can remove the entire intake in one piece. Give it a little tug over here, get it off the turbo. We'll pull up, pull the whole box out. Now grab the Cobb reducer coupler. I'm going to slide that on the turbo, the small side towards the turbo. Make sure you put the smaller clamp on ahead of time, and then clamp it down. Now we're going to put a larger clamp on the other end of that coupler and install the main inlet tube. Make sure the two ports for your PCV and for your blow-off valve are on the right side here. Get it into the coupler, but we're not going to tighten it down just yet. We need to do a little prep work to the airbox before we can install it. They provide this rubber seal with it. What we're going to do, put that on this edge here, down through here. On either side of the airbox, this edge down here, and then finally, this open circle here. Just slide it over the edge. The corners, just cut a little triangle, make a straight line, cut 2 points up to it. you'll want to sit the airbox lid onto the shield itself. What we're going to do is take the seal and start right below the edge of the lid and go all the way around. And what to do is just leave the part for the lid hanging off when this goes on the car, and then once it's bolted together, we can reseal it. The lower airbox is bolted to your EcoBoost Mustang in two locations. Here, which is going to be the factory bolt we removed from the airbox, and here, which is a threaded hole on your frame rail that's not used from the factory. What you want to do is when you put the airbox into place, make sure this goes between the radiator and the factory scoop. That'll help you get this hole lined up. Just lift up the intake tube and slide this down into place. Now what you want to do is slide the lower airbox around until you see that threaded hole. Once you see that, grab the supplied hardware, we're going to thread it in. Get in there with the socket and tighten it down. We're going to again use supplied hardware, line it up with the factory hole and bolt it down. For the next step, there's a mount that goes from the cold air tube to the engine itself to support it. We're going to pop off our intake cover, give us more room to work. Hit the cob bracket. It's going to bolt right here in the front of the engine. What I'll do is just put these in loosely for now. There's a bolt hole right here in the bottom of the intake tube that's going to go onto this bracket. But what you want to do first is make sure the intake tube is down into our lower airbox. Sort of want to get everything where it's lined up, and then we put that bolt in from the bottom. Now we're going to remove the hand-tight lower bolt from the engine mount. That will allow us to once again lift up the intake tube and install a filter. What you do is put the filter down first, and then bring the intake tube back down. You're going to grab your stock intake, get the IAT sensor out by turning it counterclockwise. The sensor facing up and down, you want to slide this in, turn it back towards you a little bit. It'll actually pop into place, and turn it and lock it in. Make sure you remember to reconnect it. And now we can install the lid. With everything tightened down, now we can reinstall the blow-off valve tube and the PCV. Now we can reinstall the lower bolt for the bracket, tighten that down. The PCV and everything else connected. Now we come back and actually tighten the clamp on the side here that holds the inlet tube to the silicone coupler. sure we install the cover. You want to get the seal started before it goes down into place. And once you have all four started, you can go back and tighten them up. And your installation is finished. Now let's fire it up and see how it sounds. As we expected, you can definitely hear the intake more, and the blow-off valve is also a little bit louder. Like other Cobb parts we've installed in the past, when it's installed, the fit and finish is top-notch, almost looks OEM. We know it's good for some power, it sounds great, and looks great under the hood as well. The installation is pretty straightforward. The seal can be a little bit frustrating. Besides that, it's not a bad install at all. Figure about an hour, you'll be back on the road in no time.